I have to just say, anyone who has doubted me over the past decade about this evil woman now needs to eat some humble pie.
The reason why these pictures are so problematic for Meghan Markle is because these pictures place her with Jeffrey Epstein.
Meghan is at the bottom of the barrel.
In fact, I've seen the tapes. I've got them somewhere. God knows where now. I've got them on some
So you've seen Nudie Rudy Meghan too?
I've seen more than one thing.
She's a con artist.
It was really important to me. I remember where I come from.
It's going to be explosive.
I tried so hard.
Take you through what Tom Bower has revealed. He's told the Daily Mirror, I've got a lot of new material already, and I think the whole world wants new insights. It's an amazing...
Yesterday, we broke down what Tom Bower found inside Betrayal, Camilla's 6 words, the Sensibly brand audit, and the Johnny Depp comparison at 40,000 feet. Sophie Chundorkar telling Harry that his wife had destroyed his earning power. If you haven't watched that, go now, because today's video starts where that one stopped.
I can't wait to read this. There are many, many unanswered questions when it comes to Meghan Markle.
Omid Scobie's Endgame accidentally leaked the names of 2 senior royals accused of racism. They stayed silent, but 12 days before a single copy shipped, their spokesperson released the most aggressive public statement in Sussex history. It was called a deranged conspiracy and melodrama. And everyone, myself included, assumed the panic was about the brainwashing claim, the Sensibly collapse, or the Invictus footage. A reasonable guess, but the wrong answer.
Try to hide the files and they
Because when you read the serialized excerpts in the Times, all of them from front to back, you notice something strange. The material that actually scared them isn't in the book. Not yet. The serialization covered Harry's isolation, Camilla's warning, and the charity implosion. It didn't touch the one subject that makes Tom Bower's mainstream credibility genuinely dangerous to Meghan. Hold that thought, because 4 days after those excerpts hit newsstands, someone at The Spectator decided to say the quiet part out loud.
For so long, there have been rumours that many of us believe are true. And I think someone like Tom Bower can get these across the line and get them in print and prove that they are true.
Julie Burchill is not a careful writer. She was fired from the Daily Telegraph in 2021 for a racist tweet about baby Lilibet's name. She paid damages to journalist Ash Sarkar after an Islamophobic attack. She is, by most professional standards, radioactive. She also writes for The Spectator, founded in 1828, one of the oldest continuously published magazines in the English language. On March 17, 2026, Burchill published a column titled Spare Us the Girls' Weekend, Meghan, mocking Meghan's upcoming luxury women's retreat in Sydney, with tickets priced at nearly $3,000 Australian. The column was crude, personal, exactly what you'd expect from Burchill. And buried in the middle of the ridicule, she wrote this. No one will get to ask anything interesting like how many yachts she was a guest on before she met her prince. Was it double figures or triple? Read that again.
The Yacht Girl. Oh my God. Ghislaine Maxwell spoke. She said so. Virginia Roberts spoke. They both talked about Meghan Markle, but the world chose to ignore it. And even now, with these pictures out in the public domain, the press still refuses to expose Meghan.
Something is going on. And Meghan and all the things that she has done to, pull other people down and to question them and their behavior. Well, let's continue to turn the tables and talk about you, Miss Meghan Markle, and what you have.
A columnist writing in a magazine that has been published since before the Crimean War printed a direct reference to the yacht allegations. Not on YouTube, not on a Reddit thread, not in a TikTok stitch, in The Spectator, with editors, with lawyers, and it passed review. That distinction matters because for 7 years, these questions lived exclusively in the world of independent media, anonymous accounts, and conspiracy forums. Mainstream British outlets treated the topic like it didn't exist.
Key line there, and the line that really, really interested me, was not a question about whether she was a yacht girl, but just simply stating as a fact and then asking, was it double figures or triple in terms of how many yachts she was a guest on before she met Prince Harry?
Burchill's column didn't prove anything about Meghan's past, but it proved something about the media's willingness to keep ignoring it. That willingness, as of March 17th, is gone.
The Meghan Markle yacht girl claims simply will not go away. And you know I've spoken about this before, but until now, no one in the mainstream media has been brave enough to go there. Well, that has just changed.
Tom Bower is forensic in his investigations, and he does them over a period of time. This is not like a Daily Mail hatchet job or anything like that. He has a very solid track record. Before we go further, I need to draw a line, a thick one, because this story has been polluted by fabrication, misidentified photos, and conspiracy content so reckless that it got entire YouTube channels removed in January's purge. Some of what circulates online about Meghan's pre-Harry years is verified, some is attributed to named sources, and some is completely made up. This video only deals with the first two categories. My analysis is mine. The facts are on the public record. Here's what is verified.
Tom Bower is forensic in his investigations, and he does them over a period of time. This is not like a Daily Mail hatchet job or anything like that. He has a very solid track record.
Marcus Anderson, Global Membership Director at Soho House, Canadian-born, started as a waiter and climbed to become the right hand of founder Nick Jones. Anderson met Meghan during her Suits years in Toronto. He attended her royal wedding in 2018. He attended her baby shower in New York in 2019. Royal correspondent Katie Nicholl reported on Channel 4 that Harry asked Anderson to set up not a date, but an opportunity for them to meet in a private room at Soho House.
Once a Soho House basic, always a Soho House basic.
Now, Anderson wasn't the original matchmaker. Harry's own memoir confirms that Violet von Westenholz first connected them via Instagram in July 2016. Anderson managed the logistics, the early dates, and the introductions. He was the infrastructure. Tom Bower wrote in Revenge, his first Meghan book published in 2022, that Meghan attended Brett Ratner's parties in Hollywood several times per week for years.
This guy has been around all of the time. Isn't that suspicious to you? Because it is for me. It is something strange.
Her childhood friend Ninaki Priddy told Bower she was a conniving social climber who had her sights on snagging a prince ever since she was in high school. That's not my characterization. That's a direct quote from someone who knew her before any of this began.
She's been flown all over the world. The Suits cast members didn't understand where she got the money to fly business class all over.
And here's where it gets uncomfortable, because the man who owned roughly 60% of Soho House at the time was Ron Burkle, American billionaire and UKPA Company's founder. Burkle's name appears in Jeffrey Epstein's address book. His name appears on Epstein's private jet flight logs. When the US Department of Justice unsealed the second batch of Epstein court documents in January 2024, Burkle's name surfaced again, not in a criminal capacity, but deep enough in the paperwork to make headlines. Nobody, and I mean nobody, has produced evidence that Burkle had any direct relationship with Meghan. That claim does not exist in any credible reporting.
You have to question that, and you have to address it, and it has to be something that we continue to talk about, because there is something there that we need to find the missing pieces to, because I believe a lot of it was scrubbed off of the internet way before we even knew who Meghan Markle was.
But the man who built the social infrastructure that delivered Meghan to Harry's world, his financial and documented connections to Epstein are a matter of public record. And that proximity is the thread that people like BOMBSHELL are now pulling. In print, remember that name, Burkle. It's about to come back.
This gentleman right here, that's Nick Jones, the original founder of Soho House. Guess where he's going there? He's arriving at Meghan Markle and Harry's wedding as guest of honor. Oh yeah, Soho was present.
In February 2026, days after Andrew's arrest, a photo exploded across every platform. 7 women on a boat, Instagram smiles, Mediterranean sun. 2 red arrows drawn on top, one pointing to Meghan Markle, the other pointing to a woman labeled Karina Shuliak, Jeffrey Epstein's last known girlfriend who dated him from 2009 until his death. The caption from RT, Russian state television, read, Epstein's 10-year girlfriend with Markle. The post went viral, hundreds of thousands of views, reposts across Facebook, Reddit threads, and X. Millions of people saw it.
And we also have this. This is Karina Shuliak, Epstein's girlfriend.
And the only times she traveled and went anywhere was with him. And guess who's on the other end with her Panama hat?
Here's the problem. Snopes investigated. The photo is real. Meghan is in it. The image shows no signs of manipulation. But the woman identified as Karina Shuliak is actually Flavia Sorrentino, an Italian lifestyle blogger who runs a page called The Chic Picnic. The original Instagram post, uploaded on August 10, 2016 by photographer Carlotta Duca, tagged Sorrentino by name. Shuliak was never on that boat. And before you dismiss the entire story because of one misidentified face, stop, because the debunk actually makes the real questions sharper, not weaker. The photo is real.
And I know what you're going to say. Maybe it was just that one trip. No, there were quite a few trips. There's actually quite a lot of pictures about them. There are 2 pictures that leak.
Meghan is on a yacht. The trip took place in the Mediterranean off the coast of Formentera in the Balearic Islands, Spain. This happened in August 2016, weeks before she began dating Harry. The women in that photo include Misha Nonu, Heather Dorak, and Bonita Lit, all confirmed by their own social media tags. Nonu designed the shirt Meghan wore for her first public appearance with Harry. She was at the center of many early introductions.
And I wonder if Prince Andrew's going to come out and say, hey, Harry, I did your wife quite a few times on yachts before you got her.
What?
No.
The fabricated Shuliak connection collapsed under scrutiny. Good, that's how this works. But the verified elements, the yacht, the network, the timing, the people, those didn't collapse. They're still sitting there unchallenged and unanswered.
They couldn't keep these pictures hidden because there's just too many people involved. And now they don't care about protecting Meghan Markle anymore.
Now Burkle's back because in December 2021, something happened that mainstream media covered for exactly one news cycle and then buried. David Boies, chairman of Boies Schiller Flexner, one of the most powerful litigation firms in America, sat for an interview with the Daily Beast. He was representing Virginia Giuffre in her civil lawsuit against Prince Andrew. During that interview, he told journalist Tom Sykes that his legal team was considering deposing Meghan Markle, not as a defendant, but as a witness.
What is she doing on the yacht? Why did David Boies want to question her? Why is she with Karina Shuliak? Why are there people in Meghan's social circle, that are in the same social circle as Andrew?
His reasons, and these are direct quotes published December 21st, 2021, were specific. 1. She is in the US, so they have jurisdiction over her. Point 2. She is someone who, at least for a period of time, was a close associate of Prince Andrew and hence is in a position to perhaps have seen what he did or heard people talk about it. Point 3. She is someone they can count on to tell the truth.
She was coming to New York all the time. She was in New York when Andrew was in New York for an entire month in September 2013.
Boies said the team had only 10 to 12 depositions total. He wouldn't waste one on a random celebrity. He was considering Meghan because he believed she had proximity and knowledge relevant to Andrew's conduct. He explicitly declined to consider deposing Queen Elizabeth, citing respect, deference, and her age. Meghan received no such exemption. Let that sequence land. Boies, a lawyer who had successfully taken on the US government, Hollywood studios, and Fortune 500 companies, publicly stated that the Duchess of Sussex qualified as a potential witness in an Epstein-adjacent sexual assault case, not because of gossip, but because of documented proximity to Andrew and the social circle surrounding him. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's a senior attorney doing due diligence on national television.
I want to ask Meghan Markle about her yacht girl past. To me, it feels like quite a significant moment because, of course, there is so much about Meghan Markle's time on those yachts that we do not know.
The timeline that followed tells its own story. On January 12, 2022, Judge Lewis Kaplan denied Andrew's motion to dismiss. The case was heading toward discovery. Depositions were imminent. 5 weeks later, on February 15, 2022, Andrew settled, reportedly for £12 million. The case never reached the stage where Meghan would have been called. Virginia Giuffre took her own life in April 2025 at her farm near Gabby, Western Australia. She was 41. Her family said the toll of abuse had become unbearable. A posthumous memoir, Nobody's Girl, was published 6 months later.
This is Rachel Meghan Markle in 2006 at a Hamptons party where Harvey Weinstein was there. But of course, nobody was mentioning Meghan Markle because she was a nobody.
But here's the thing. Boys didn't operate in a vacuum. He knew about the Soho House network. He knew about Burkle's documented Epstein connections. He knew about the social infrastructure that connected Meghan's world to Andrew's world through overlapping elite circles. He said it publicly in print in the Daily Beast. And Meghan has never, not once, publicly addressed those statements.
The publication of Jessica Reed Krause's House in Habit investigation into Meghan Markle's Yacht Girl past, which she has promised and has spent 6 years working on. And I am licking my lips in anticipation for when she drops that.
This is the pattern nobody talks about. Not the allegations themselves, but the silence around them. The Sussexes know how to deny things. When Tom Bower published Revenge, they stayed quiet, but allies pushed back through sympathetic outlets. When Omid Scobie's Endgame leaked racist royal names, they issued careful non-responses. They have lawyers. They have a PR team. They know how to issue specific, targeted denials when they want to. They called Bower's betrayal a deranged conspiracy. They accused him of constructing ever more elaborate theories about people he does not know and has never met.
The privacy laws are pretty strong here, and that's what she used as a weapon at the time. So there were quite a few things about her personal life. I'll work them into another book.
They told Newsweek, GB News, and others that the response made them look deeply bothered and that Bower had hit a nerve. PR expert Renee Smith, founder of the Atticism Agency, told The Express that the response made them look deeply bothered and suggested Bower had hit a nerve. But notice what the statement does not do. It attacks the author. It attacks the methodology. It attacks the motive. It never, at any point, specifically denies the yacht allegations.
Sussexes only will talk to people who repeat their own narrative.
Yes.
And who they can control. So the idea that you can get the truth from the Sussexes is contradiction.
It doesn't mention yachts. It doesn't mention Soho House. It doesn't mention Burkle. It doesn't mention boys. It doesn't mention the pre-Harry social network at all. I've now read every major public statement the Sussexes have released since 2020. I can't find a single direct denial of the yacht past claims. Not from Meghan, not from Harry, not from Sunshine Sachs, not from Shillings, not from any spokesperson in any outlet at any time. They have denied the brainwashing characterization. They have denied bullying staff. They have denied fabricating the Oprah interview claims. But the yacht questions, the specific questions that Burchell printed in The Spectator, that boys raised in the Daily Beast, that independent researchers have documented for years, those have received nothing. No comment, no denial, no legal threat, just silence. And when you attack the author of a book but refuse to deny the one claim your audience actually cares about, that's not strategy. That's a tell.
In my opinion, in my analysis, and my experience of decades, this kind of analysis, for me, is the real deal. If a photo such as this of Meghan Markle with Prince Andrew years ago surfaces, that will be quite honest.
So, here's where we are. Andrew was arrested on February 19th. The Department of Justice had released over 3 million pages of Epstein files 3 weeks earlier. Within 72 hours of that arrest, the yacht past allegations migrated from independent media to mainstream platforms. Burchell printed the questions in The Spectator on March 17th. Dan Wootton broadcast fresh claims on his Substack show the next day, watched by hundreds of thousands. Bower's betrayal gave the entire topic and ecosystem mainstream legitimacy, even though the book itself focuses on the post-Megxit years. And that's why the Sussex response was so aggressive. Not because Bower wrote about brainwashing, not because he exposed a narrative, but because his book, serialized in the Times of London and published by Blink Publishing, reviewed across major British outlets, moved the Overton window. It made Meghan's past fair game for publications that had previously refused to touch it.
a man called Kevin Blatt. Now, he is a celebrity tape broker, ladies, where he describes a 2018 call from a woman claiming to possess a 4-year-old tape of a Meghan who is about to marry a prince.
Her name is Meghan, and she's about to marry a prince in England.
No. What?
Yeah, this story's not true, too. It is true. I believe this is Meghan.
She is so odious, it's beyond.
Newsweek's chief royal correspondent Jack Royston warned of the Streisand effect, that by attacking the book so publicly, the Sussexes had guaranteed more people would read it. By March 15th, Betrayal hit #1 on Amazon before a single copy shipped. The door opened, and once that door opens in mainstream British media, with legal teams, editorial review, and institutional backing, it doesn't close. I've been working with the same public reporting as everyone else. Verified facts, named sources, court filings, they're all on the record. None of us were in those rooms. But when a Spectator columnist prints the question, when a senior litigator publicly names Meghan as a potential witness in an Epstein-related case, when the woman who ran the brand audit tells Harry his wife is commercially toxic, and when the response to all of it is to attack every messenger without ever denying the message.
But what we've seen recently is the wokest of the woke turn on Harry and Meghan. It's their own kind turning on them.
I think that's the whole issue, that they were globally, and they are globally known, but because of the way they behaved in the last 4 or 5 years, and as the price of betrayal, they are now, their reputation and their status and their fortunes are crumbling.
At some point, the silence stops being strategic, and it starts being the story. But the yacht questions are only one piece of what's unraveling, because there are 6 specific people across 8 years, across 3 continents, who tried to put this story on the record. None of them knew each other. All of them faced consequences. And the pattern connecting what happened to each one, that's not a coincidence. That's a system. That breakdown is coming next.